And we are back. Our next guest has been on an incredible journey, one involving not just personal growth, but also the establishment of an expansion of a unique business venture centered around music, podcasting, and photography. Her enterprise provides a dynamic space for creative expression. Here now is the CEO of Tailored Made Creative Studio, Shinere Taylor, and thank you so much for being with us.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. And for yourself, I mean, an opportunity to really venture into the entrepreneurial space.
Yes,
and,
yes.
A studio. So tell us a little bit about the studio.
So the studio is a content creation space.
Right.
It is located in Midtown Manhattan. It's actually right across the street from where the old 4040 used to be. And so it is 24/7 security. It consists of 3 rooms, a music recording studio, a podcast room, and a photography room. Now, when you book the space, you got access to the entire space. So it's not like if you book for photography, you just have to stay in the photography room. You have access to the entire space. And so if you need an engineer or photographer along with the space, we also provide that service as well. We also have cameras, we have lighting, we have all the high-tech quality as far as the studio equipment, the plugins, anything that an artist would need, we definitely provide that.
So when you look at what you're doing right now, obviously you're filling a gap because there's so many people who wish they had the opportunity to have it. You got it. All you gotta say is just basically show up and we'll get you taken care of.
Yes, pretty much, because during the pandemic, remember, everybody was home creating content. And right now, the digital content creator world is 104.2 billion. By 2027, that's gonna double.
Right.
We have over 200 million content creators in the world. So when you think about that, digital, everything is about videos. If you ain't see it, it ain't happen.
Right.
You know, so I wanted to be able to give people the space to create and make money while they're doing it. You know, so that was the main, the goal of it, the focus of it.
So for yourself, obviously, you know, you've got a huge business approach. I think you got it down pat. You can just tell you got it.
Trial and error. No, I'm still learning. I'm still a student of the game. Every day I learn something new. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this is the challenging thing I've ever been through so far in my life.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because it was my vision. It was my funds.
That's the most important, right? Yeah.
You know,
right.
And it's something that I really want to see like prosper. You know, it's not just, it was about creating generational wealth for my children.
Right.
So this is what it's about for me, you know, so.
And you're doing it through photography, you're doing it through podcasting, you're really using media to really be the forefront for a lot of people who don't necessarily, maybe I have an idea, but I really don't know how to bring it home. And you say, I can get you home.
Definitely, that's the whole goal about it. Come to the studio, create. You, like I said, if you were a record label, you have artists, you have models, you have influencers. You can actually come to my studio and have a media day. You know, we do listening parties. You know, we do networking parties. We do networking events. You know, we're here for the little guys, the underdogs. You know, that's my thing, especially with the community and the background I came from. You know, I want to be able to inspire people. Well, if Shinere could do it, then, you know, I know it's possible that I can do it.
Right.
You know.
You use the word little. When you were little, you said you could be a boss. So tell me about this here.
Well, I mean, since I was young, I always considered myself a leader. I've always knew that I had a bigger purpose, and it started from my dad. My dad had a 3rd grade reading level. He couldn't read or write. At 9, 10 years old, I was reading to him the newspaper, writing down things, you know, telling him, you know, what it is that he needs to be as far as, you know, the world. He grew up in Philly. You know, he had 13 siblings. He had to take care of his siblings and his mom. So for me, regardless of where my dad came from, he was the best man in the world. So for me, he used to always tell me, Shinere, you're gonna be that one, because I see it in you. I see that you like to help people. You're so passionate, you know, and that's where it came from. So for me, you know, it was all about he's not here no more. So for me, it's like I gotta do it. You know, he told me I am the one, and I gotta be that one, cause I know I am. You know, and I felt like I've always had that. So you know, that's why I'm here now.
Help people fill the gap, right?
Yeah.
So for you, long-term goals, I mean, you got this going on. You got some goals for the
Yes.
future. Of course, 2024 is right here.
Yes. So my long-term goal is to actually branch off and create a nonprofit organization, and I want to actually get involved with schools and other nonprofit organizations, and I want to build courses out for high school students and college students who actually want hands-on experience as far as the entertainment business. Because you know, it's not just about being an artist. You can be an engineer. You can be a videographer. You can be a photographer. You can be a producer. You know, you can be a host, what you're doing right now. You know, I want to show the youth that it's possible. Not everybody's good at music, you know?
Right.
So, you know, that's the first, you know, I want to do, you can do other things. You know, you can create. You can be a creator and get paid for it. So that's where I'm headed at right now, and I'm working towards that. So that's the long-term goal.
Talk to me a little earlier in the show. I was talking about entrepreneurship and how people, you know, basically after COVID were saying, "Listen, I'm gonna become this entrepreneur." For you, job switch. How did you get to this place of saying, "I'm gonna be this entrepreneur"?
Well, I was incarcerated, right? When I was 20 years old. At the time, I had a 3-month-old baby, and they had literally just told me that while I was in there that I was expecting again. And so 12 days into my incarceration, my dad had a massive heart attack, and he passed away. And so with that, you know, I was crushed. I was broken. It was hard. It was very hard for me being away from my kids, being in prison, losing my dad, not having an opportunity, being the only black female incarcerated where I was, because I was locked up in Maine. I actually gave birth to my son in prison. So that was really a hard time in my life. And so when I came home and I got my kids together, I had to start all over. I had to, I was homeless, you know, I had to, you know, get my life back in order, be a mom. And, you know, I was young. I was 22. I had 2 babies. They both 11 months apart. They both was in diapers, bottled milk and everything. And their father wasn't there as well. He was incarcerated. He did 12 years. And so I decided I went back to school. I got my associate's degree, and I decided to work for Department of Homeless Services. So I went and worked in the shelter system. And so that was my give back because someone did it for me. And so I love what I did, but it was like, I'm not living in my purpose. What is it that I want to do for myself? And so for me, I had to sit back and say, hey, you know what? I have to figure out what am I going to do for myself to create generational wealth.
And this is it.
And this was it right here. You know, one thing that my best friend taught me one time, she said, you know, I love my job. She's a teacher. You know, I love my job, but every day you go in there as if it's your last day. And so, because it's not yours.
Right.
And that always stuck in the back of my head. And so for me, it was like, I got to take this risk. I have to take this risk because I'm big on what if I didn't happen, what would have happened, what could have been. I don't like to fail. And what I mean by fail, we all fail. I mean by not trying. That's my biggest fear. At least, even if this doesn't go the way I planned it, I know I tried.
Right.
You know? And I just go back to the drawing board.
I don't think it's failing. I think you're trying and you're doing it.
Okay.
So keep doing it.
Okay.
And we're glad to have you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Well, listen, I want to let you know if you want more information, follow her on Instagram.
Yes.
At TaylorMade Creative Studio. And we encourage you, please don't go anywhere. We got more open coming up. Stay with us. We're right back right after this.